well, the A's will play their final game at the Coliseum tomorrow afternoon against the Rangers. Tickets are going for
tens of dollars.
No, they're going for hundreds of dollars.
Are they really?
Yep.
So it's actually going to be a sellout?
I don't know about that, but maybe. I mean, they're talking about $125 to get in the door.
Wow. I mean, I didn't know. Like they did opening day didn't they do the protest where they all just stood outside the stadium? I'm surprised that people want to give that D-bag money. I feel bad for the A's fans.
Well, it's the last game.
It's the last game, but I feel bad for them.
Yeah, if you're a sports fan in Oakland, I mean, how much do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, you've lost
them all.
You've lost Golden State. At least, I mean, I guess you've at least lost them across the bay. You can still go, but they're not in Oakland anymore. So I guess that's some solace. You lost the Raiders again. They're not coming back, and now you lost the A's. I mean, they're just we've never seen anything like this.
No.
Ever.
No, there's never been anything like this. And the other thing too is that if you're younger, you probably don't remember, Oakland was like a mecca of winning teams.
Yes.
It was title town.
Yes.
I mean, in the 70s, the A's, the Raiders, and the Warriors won 5 straight championships.
Yeah.
5 straight years, 72 to 76. Mm-hmm. And they all played steps apart. They played in the same area.
Yep.
There's such a rich history there with Al Davis and John Madden and Ricky Henderson and Rick Barry and Steph Curry.
And I remember in the 80s and the 90s, growing up, that the both of those teams were except for the Warriors. The Warriors, although they had run TMC right with Mitch Richmond and Chris Mullins and those guys, but I mean, dude, the A's were a big freaking deal with McGuire and Canseco and Dave Stewart, the Bash brothers, and all that.
Don't forget about Carney Lansford.
Oh yeah, the great Carney Lansford.
And Terry Steinbach
playing.
Mike Gallegos.
They were
Mike Bordick.
They were so fun. I mean, I remember the A's and Dennis Eckersley, the A's and the Dodgers, and that was such a big deal. And then even in somewhat recent times, even when the A's had to do the stupid Moneyball thing, they still brought out good teams, and every now and then they would jump up and surprise you. And that was, I feel for the people of Oakland and all because of what? Because
with the A's, it's the owner.
Yes.
Right. But I don't know. What is it with the Warriors? They just capitalized on the championships and,
I mean, I do think it's the same type of thing where
over.
The place that they were playing was a dump. They wanted a new site, and it was really hard to work with the city, but they weren't trying to move them out of the area. They were just trying to move them. I mean, they weren't trying to move them out of, like, the Bay Area like the A's are.
Yeah, they went over to San Francisco. The Raiders go to Vegas. I don't know. I don't know enough about the dealings in Oakland. All 3 teams left, and I don't know how much to blame Oakland, the city of Oakland, and how much to blame the owners.
I don't. The Davis one is hard because there's a long. I mean, they've left multiple times.
Yeah. Right,
between L.A. and Oakland, and Vegas just basically bent over and spread him and gave him whatever he wanted. They built that for him. That's one of the poorest owners in the NFL. Is why can't I think of Al Davis's kid? Mark Davis. Like he just didn't have money, and so he was like, well, I don't know. I need someone to build this for me. And he didn't want a reasonable stadium. He wanted a big old palace. And Vegas was like, I'll do it. And the one that pisses the people in Oakland off about Fisher is the deal that he made with Vegas isn't much different than the deal that Oakland was offering him.
That's exactly right. He didn't want to be there anymore. There's enough writing on the wall there that there were options for them to stay there, and he just didn't want to keep them there. It was feasible.
The only reason that they're not in Oakland anymore is a little bit of the Mark Davis thing, where had the city of Oakland bent over and was like, here's $3 billion, he would have done it. But the one that they're building him in Vegas is no different than the one that they would build him in Oakland or help build him. But the one in Oakland, he wanted that big giant parcel on the water with the aerial tram and all that. And he didn't want to pay for any of it. And unlike Al Davis, he actually has money. So they just got screwed. They got screwed with San Francisco being a sexier site for the Warriors to move across because there's more money there. and they got screwed with two of the worst owners in their respective leagues. The poorest one in Mark Davis, who just didn't want to foot the bill for anything, mainly because he probably wasn't able to. And then they got literally the worst owner in sports, who probably could afford to do it and wasn't going to.
I love that we call Mark Davis poor.
Well, he was.
Well, relatively speaking, he's the poorest
well,
of his peers.
I understand that, but I think I'd probably switch portfolios with him.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you guys hear the Oakland sports anchor rant?
Yeah. Well, that was
owner?
Larry Beal. You sent that to me.
Yeah.
That's old ESPN anchor.
That's right. He started in the Bay Area. He went to Bristol. He came back to the Bay Area.
Yeah. Do you have that?
I do. Yeah.
Let's play that. This. So he's on a TV channel.
Yeah,
there?
he's on KTVU in Oakland down there.
This is the response that Fisher wrote a letter to the fans.
Like
in
a
Oakland.
thank you and we tried.
Yeah, we tried. Sorry, we tried so hard.
Not our fault.
Yeah.
All right, so you heard Fisher's statement. Let me tell you what reality is, okay? John, you tried 5 different, extremely flawed stadium proposals. You never got even close to a shovel in the ground. Yes, Oakland politics is often a mess. I will give you that. But John, you surround yourself with incompetent yes men, and because you were born into a billionaire family, apparently never learned you have to spend money to make money. See Joe Lacob and the Golden State Warriors, your buddy, who still wants to buy the team. John, you're a serial penny pincher. You've destroyed your family's great name and legacy because of your cheapness. As for the statement about loyal A's fans, quote, I wish I could speak to each and every one of you individually, end quote. Seriously? John, we've been trying to interview you for years, but you always choose to remain invisible unless you're begging politicians for public funding. And then you're out in front in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Crazy, man.
Yeah.
Sucks.
By the way, when the
And you know the other thing too.
yeah, no.
The other thing is about Oakland. It's not like, like Seattle is probably going to get the NBA back.
Yes.
Right, and got the NHL.
Yeah.
DC got baseball back.
Mhm.
Oakland's not getting anything back.
I don't think so.
I don't know what it would be.
No, unless again, unless an owner came in and just wanted to bend over and just say, "Hey, I'll pay for this." I mean, that's what we're having to do in Portland. We're gonna have to have an owner that comes in and just says, "Look, we'll foot the bill for this," which is why they need the larger retail space to develop it, because they got to make back $4 billion. I mean, again, we talked about it. The expansion fee in Major League Baseball. Manfred's talking about $2.2 billion for the right to get a team, and then at least another $2 billion to build the stadium and the infrastructure. John Fisher, by the way, is worth $3.5 billion. When this is Mark Davis. So when Mark Davis started to move to Vegas, started to pull out of Oakland, he was worth $500 million. So, and I know that's a lot of money, but in the terms of building a stadium, and he was one of the poorest owners. So that's the people of Oakland got screwed over because the Davis family didn't have money. I mean, I honestly don't think he could have done that. And since he moved to Vegas, he's now worth over $2 billion because of the worth of his team.
What did Big Al leave him? Was Al worth a ton?
I don't know. I mean, it can't be that much.
Well,
I mean, now
could
it
have
is.
been.
But,
I mean, it could have been. Mark could have just screwed it up.
I guess could have screwed it away. But yeah, $500 million in 2016, 2017 to now $2.3 billion. So
again, I'd trade portfolios with that poor guy.
Yes, that is true. But in the NFL, like when you guaranteed contracts, you have to put that money in escrow and all that. We had some of this when we were in Tampa. The Glazer family down in Tampa, it was the same thing. They were cheap as hell,
but they were rich.
They were rich. They were
filthy rich.
They were just cheap.
They were cheap. Yeah,
they were cheap. There was a thing where they would try to keep that money. Guys didn't get paid on time because they were keeping it in and rolling over interest and things. Like they were notoriously cheap. And so sometimes the city just gets screwed over. I mean, you were a Royals fan. How many years did you have to suffer through because your owner was a cheap ass?
Well, the old owner was great.
Yes.
Ewing Kauffman.
Yes.
He was wonderful. Then he died, and they sold it to the Walmart douche, David Glass, and he ran it like, just a penny pinching business.
Yep.
And that's why they sucked for the longest time after being really good in the 70s and 80s.
There's just no, I hope that somewhere something comes back to Oakland, but imagine a city of that size and the growth, because so much is spilled over from the Bay Area and San Francisco over there. to not have a single
I know.
sports entity?
I wonder what they do. Do they just? I mean,
don't-
do you follow your old team in their new location? Do you
I don't know.
gravitate toward Bay Area sport? San Francisco
Well, there's
sports.
such a hatred. Did A's fan become Giants fans?
I don't think
I
they
don't
can.
really. I don't know.
No, I think they're just an A's fan.
I think you become a
'cause
sports
Vegas,
orphan for a while, and then you just
Well, but Vegas isn't that far.
yeah. But then you're supporting the team that you're mad at the ownership. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like when the Sonics left for Oklahoma City. It left a lot of Sonics fans really bitter. They loved their Sonics, but they didn't become Thunder fans.
But a lot of the Raider fans are following the Raiders to Vegas.
Raider
aren't they?
fans have
Yeah.
always followed the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
Yeah, that is true. I just don't know if A's fan. If Fisher sold the team, I think A's fan could follow him to Vegas because it's, but I don't know how you root for that team when that guy is your owner. And especially if you see him in a shiny new stadium and, like I'd be pissed if I was a Raiders fan and I watched that little bowl-cutted turd now, strut around, being like, hey, I'm worth $2 billion now. Yeah, because you screwed us over by moving.